powers up. 1, 2, 3 shots, but then he needs to back off right away because he picked up rack. So then another player was squeezing in towards the end, and this is that fourth circle kind of crutch we talked about, where everyone's piling in, establishing their box on the edge of the zone, trying to pull the half in, half out, but not get eliminated and not end up being the focus of other players. That's why you see kind of these different apartment buildings kind of being segmented off towards the side, as now we swing on over to Tayson, who also has Snazy right by him, but Tayson currently throwing some great shots and in an awesome gatekeeping position.
And in a very good spot because there's no one really looking at him in that area. Now, if Zone does not pull where he wanted to, he will be in an awkward spot, but you see a shark coming through the background, hitting some players, somebody else down below just trying to stave off the pressure, the lobby spray coming through, and that's what happens when you be a little bit of a loot goblin. Is Milan gonna go down, but Tayson looking to get another elimination there. So someone else trying to rotate out as well. A lot of shots going down, everybody firing. He finds the man's literal foot there as he's getting the shot down to him, but I think that elimination is going to go over to Vidil, so Tayson not able to capitalize on the second elimination, but at least able to pick up one.
And you can see the thought process behind Vidil right there, trying to get around, or Vidil picking up Pinky there, trying to get around and rotate the side using kind of the water and the path that was there, but both the Sharks and the lobby focus and the fact that the players had already established themselves in the zone meant the late rotate wasn't going to pay off. As now, look at the players who are all stacked on top of each other here. We're going to hop on board with Letwick, who's going to pick up Floppa Michael. We are inside the top 50, so second placement point has gone over. Now back on board with Letwick again, trying to push through and find a second Elam. It's Rifla who's going to get down. That was the match number 3 winner, so still plenty of the top players left in this one.
But they could go down if Letwick's continuing to push this advantage, but he doesn't have HP in his inventory. He's got the floppers, but no extra minis. This is not what he wanted from that loot. He was hoping for big shields, chug splashes, any more minis there, but not able to get it. Maybe wonder if Rifla was able to steal some of those away as he decides to disengage and actually ends up landing near Slick there. The Strokey down there as well. Slender, Vidil, Queasy, Tayson down there as you see them panning through. Rifla, though, in a very good spot to look at anybody crash padding into zone. His shots continuing to hit here for him is just tracking beautifully through the air. Milan will fall. They're running out of AR ammo, though, so this is concerning. He's not able to pick up any of these eliminations. It's not really worth it.
Yeah, he's desperately looking for the siphon because he doesn't have a big pot to take himself over. This is the half in, half out zone, so he's just trying to keep the players from rotating in. But as you see in the bottom right-hand corner, pretty much everyone has already made it right to the edge of the circle. So once we move into zone number 6, aka the moving zones and the late game, it's all going to be about the rotation priority. This is the late game, match number 4. All of the top players are still in it, so keep an eye on that top left corner and who's taking down who, as all of them are capable of winning this game and closing out the victory route. 40 players remaining. The zone's going to close here, and we'll have the first reveal of the moving zones. You can see Rifla, Deceptos, Seventor, Steelix, Bion God, all the players directly on top of each other. Floki, Thomas HD, Vato, so many players stacked right towards this edge, and nobody has priority on the zone. Everybody is going to be forced to rotate. Look in the bottom right-hand corner. Pretty much the entire lobby is on the south side, and you have to go northwest. This is going to signal a ton of early crash pads, early launch pads, and then players who don't have that utility either looking to recycle it from opponents or just branch out right away. And here it goes. The crash pads and launch pads are out.
Rifla choosing to just launch instead of recycle because he doesn't want to rely on that volatility that is the Fortnite lobby. You see, looking around and scouting everything that he can. He wants as much information as he can. SMG is out. We haven't seen any SMG plays here in competitive Fortnite because not a lot of players are prioritizing it. As an RPG is going to come through. Rifla going to take a lot of damage, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get out of this one. 29 HP. He does have mini shields in his inventory, and you see he did get out, and he is going on the aggression. He has to go forward, and he needs to realize that he's got to be careful. He also needs this. He desperately needs to get elimination, challenging high ground there, and now dropping down.
And MCES X Squeezy has just picked up a huge elimination. Deceptives going down. Anas also going down. X Squeezy got picked up right before that, but the 2 top players are now out. This is Rifle's opportunity to stamp it. Hen is out as well. That's another player who is top 6 going into it. All of the legends are dropping, and Rifle is saying it's my opportunity to shine. He won match number 3. Kenny turned it around. He picks up Slicks as well, saying, I'm the best of us right now. I will prove it. 39 points. Top 25 going through another placement threshold, but can he execute from the low ground, now hopping up into the mid ground as we get a look at the wide and everyone else rotating through, but back on board with Rifle. Already 4 eliminations and pushing for that next placement threshold at top 20 as Janice picks up Thomas. Shrimzy also going down, another point ticking over, and that's around 40 for Rifle.
This is really good to see, but he's got to keep going. He can't get stuck in the zone like this. That's exactly what's happening. He's being held out. Shots come through. Not able to connect on him, and he's going to take over the zone. 41 points is what he's finished on for this game. So anybody over 41 or close is going to look to challenge. Janus on the high ground. Ludwig in the mid ground. Tace on there as well. Smudge and Snazy, Vadil, PCH, and Scrib there. That's your top, 11, 10 players there. As Janus is looking just to spray everybody. PCH rotating through that second high position, looking to get anything going there is Interact is hiding behind Ludwig there. We get a lot of wides coming through as Janus is trying to pressure down there. I believe with that pistol there, or maybe an AR, doesn't really have much to work with, it seems like, because his HP has not increased. His Tayson going to get tagged on up. Smudge and PCH added. Scrib trying to make their rotation through. Slender on the low ground as well as Snazy. PCH is unfortunately going to fall. Interact going to be there as well. Vadil right now on your screen. 3 eliminations looking to make it more. 9 total players remaining. Got Crashbits, got Floppers. Scrib is going to fall there. Vadil trying to rotate with the last little bits of mats that he's got, and he's got enough hard mats to make 1 more box, and then he's going to have to make a play. As everybody making plays down below, he's just trying to hold out. He doesn't want to drop down right away. Stays going down. Nice shot there on the Tayson. It's a mythic loot there, but he's not going to be able to pick it on up. Everybody falling. Punch going down as well. Floppers being popped here. Does he have enough HP to pop and make it in his zone? The Floppers are going to help him. Ludwig going to go down. He was up there near the points as well. Janice maybe able to take this. The FNCS solo invitational winner doing very well, but looking for deal. Just floppering in zone, trying to mini up, trying to get prepared. As Slender is going to go into the zone. The Shockwave launcher is here. Janice going to lose high ground there to Vadil. Does he have enough HP to keep it? Does he have enough mats to keep it as well? Vadil dropping down, Shockwave being used, everyone being flown. Janice is still there, shots coming through. Vadil going to miss, and unfortunately Slender going to take him down. Now in a 1v1 scenario, Janice launches himself in his zone. Oh no, this is not what he wanted. He didn't want that, but shots go through. He hits a lot of damage, and now the HP is back in his favor. Slender has to make a play. Shockwave's being used, and I don't know if there's enough Shockwaves left in the game to give Janus the win, but he's got the HP. He's got the shotgun shot. He's got the pressure, but can he find it? Can he find the angle that he needs? He's going to have to drop down sooner or later. The zone. Look out, one more, but Slender notices that and gets the jump up dub.
Slender with the 4 eliminations in the victory royale, 25 points coming out and executing from the low ground. Janus unfortunately not able to close it out with the Shockwave launcher, but a good defense coming out from Slender there. And 4 matches are down with just 2 games remaining. Who will walk away with that #1 spot in Europe? Zeke, Bala, Shio, break it down for us. Let us know what we're looking for.
There's a lot of things that we are looking for, and right now there's actually some we have yet to see, and the leaderboard is going to help uncover what it is we're missing, because there's a shark hiding in the shadows as we are running through this race toward this finish line. Boys, first off, big congratulations there to Slender. I like the victory royale, and I like the defensive route he needed to take there to keep Janus away from getting that win.
Absolutely, and now we're going to be looking at the ramifications of that game and what it's going to look like going into the final slots over here for Europe. For the standings, in first place, is it someone new? What's it going to be? No, Rifla is still holding on to that top spot, 41 points in total, now almost leading the pack, right behind Vadil in eliminations, has that win in case of the tiebreaker, but he is dominating game after game, so consistent.
The two players I want to highlight, because what we're talking about consistency, these guys are converting the most. Rifle has actually had a second or third zone fall, which actually pushes his average placement way out. And if that happens again, that is dangerous. Whereas Sittos and Letwick, they've only had one game where they've fallen out of the 4 in around the top 40 area, which is actually converting on a little bit of elims, but otherwise, too, they're pushing deep into the top 10 on every game that they make it into that end game. So that is very, very crucial looking forward. I think it's going to be a duel between Sittos and Letwick.
I mean, they are pulling away from the pack. Look at the top 3 down to top 10. You're looking at an 11-point differential. And don't forget, Flois was the first winner on the day. He got the first victory out. But we see this a lot, right? Whoever starts strong, they tend to fizzle.
Still, though, like, everyone always has this expectation that it's possible for these players in 20th place, in 30th place to bounce back up. I would usually agree, but after watching EU today, it is the same players we're seeing alive in endgame. When we say these guys just need 7 or 11 points, that means getting to the top 10. And for a lot of these guys like Steelix, Snazy, yes, they're playing well, but are they there consistently? That is the big question.
Yeah, that it will be. Bad Sniper, 21st right now. Mongrel also middling around 22nd. That's not where these guys want to be going into the final 2 games, but there's still a chance. We all know when it comes to 6-game grand finals that the final 2 games mean so much.
No matter what, these guys want to get better than anyone else around them, want to place higher. So all the way till the final game, the competition will stay hot.
We got to think, man. 2 games left. It's wild to think we've been doing this for like 3 weeks now, and now we get to look at the conclusion, see who will hold the Axe of Champions high, and after 2 games, we'll have a new FNCS champion. Now, guys, we were kind of talking about players, the shark in the water, and it's none other than Deceptos, who is finding himself in that 2nd place. We haven't seen him much on broadcast, so what has this guy been doing?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be a group effort here, but 100% we'll break it down in just a sec. Deceptos has basically been going, as you said, Zeke, through those shadows, right? He's been playing around other players and how, kind of pop-offy they've been. They're kind of showing overall exactly what they can do and break down in front of everyone else. And while they're taking the spotlight, that's the word I was looking for, Deceptos is operating in that background. He's getting everything these players are not looking at or seeing.
Yeah, there's so much to actually consider when getting into Deceptos' game plan because, like I said, he's converting on these end games. I want to find out how. I want to find out where this man is dropping and how he's actually transitioning into the end game because, like I said, it's so important, but these are some of the things we miss. Him in top 10 right here, 2 eliminations, and he still makes a couple count. While some at the top, like Rifle, might be having a little bit more impact in terms of elimination, he's making it count for placements.
And this is exactly how he gets his game started. Let's actually break down what he does every single game, specifically that last one too. Landing somewhere near Lazy Lake, actually taking a back alley loop path all the way across the map, picking up so many houses that people will get to later on faster than them, and then getting into these positions, these boxes fast, where he has control and can drop down these shotgun shots in really crazy angles.
And this game right here was actually Deceptos' first game where he ended up falling after that top 50 mark, so he got the 2 placement points. But what he did do is actually fight a little earlier, grab that elim on Bad Sniper, and then has the awareness to recognize that Rax is in the box next to him. He'll convert, but after those 2 fights, that's when it gets to be a little risky for Letwick. It was last game that was an issue for him. This time, he's still going in, and he'll take down so many important ones. That was a Nas, and you know how high he was on the leaderboard.
And these guys are in the game every single time. They are taking out these big names. We alluded to these 20th place players possibly rising to the top. They have to overcome these 2 monstrous barriers.
I mean, and it's just going to come down to the final 2 games here. Rifle holding strong at the top, but Deceptos, they're lurking in the waters. You've got Letwick who's on the side. Anas, who picked up the Victory Royale, is here as well to play. Vidil, who made it through, which, by the way, sat in the storm forever, was eating floppers, and then is like, oh, I have to get to the storm? I got crash pads, baby, it's good. So many names are in this race right now.
Yeah, but for me, I'm going to pick the Siptos to make it through in these last 2 games. He has been playing out of his mind, and before that game where he fell after 50th place, for him it was an average placement of 9.67. So I'm going with the Frenchman. Allez les bleus, let's go.
Okay, I'm going to pick a Rifle to stay up top. I feel like being in first is a big deal, and he can hold on and stop these 2 men, no matter where they're from taking that top spot.
All right, I'm going to the deal because he has style points, and I like style. Guys, with that being said, we're getting ready to head into the next game, game number 5, here in EU. Sundown Clay, let's throw it your way.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And with just 2 games left to go, it is tightly contested at the top of the leaderboard. You see Rifle currently holding a 4-point lead just over Deceptos and Letwick, but plenty of people within striking distance still. We've seen time and time again those victory royales worth right around 19 and 20 points, so anybody can make a play. But Clay, if you're going to make that play, it has to be right now.
You cannot wait any longer. This is it. These are the final moments. There is one more game, but there's not enough points on the lobby for you to make that play if you wait till the final moment. So you need at least 2 games to write the miracle run, the miracle story. And we've seen a lot of players that happen. Noah Riley trying to make his run up the top of the leaderboard as well. Rifle, though, is relatively uncontested other than he's got 2 people there, but with the way Frenzy's built, you can be contested and never see your opponent.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities for you to break sight lines, get through. You can also see Llama tagged up. Llama 210 over there. Chat calling it out. Everyone, there's plenty of opportunities to get through. A Rifle is going to be super thankful for that. The Llama coming through is such a big influx of not only materials, but key end game items that really enable you to go through, especially getting that launch pad. But now you can see engagement going on over here with Supremacy's Floki and Flecken. Who will be the better F as they fight it out here? The question will be resolved quickly as the crash pad ends up coming through. Floki putting the pressure down on the Flecken, but nobody necessarily able to connect shots. And as I say that, Floki hits 2 back-to-back. He says, thanks for the loot. I'll take that epic tactical shotgun and everything else that comes with it. The crash pads, the shields, all the metal over here on the side, and he's going to be very happy about that.
And the guaranteed launch pad that comes out of the rig's vault area. That is a very, very big pickup for Floki. And again, in that range where they could make something happen. Now we do have a replay here of what happened at Caddy Corner with Thomas HD. Running away is going to get tagged up out. I actually had 1 build left, but you can't build right there. And unfortunately falling early.
Vestakira taking down what was the 7th ranked player there. So what you care about right now as a viewer, we're keeping an eye on that top left-hand corner. Who in the top 10 is falling and who can remain and keep picking up points, because that's going to set up the story for what the final game is and who's going to have an opportunity. But right now, Bad Sniper needs to be careful. First AR shots come out right away from the bush. Wookie trying to set up an ambush, and Bad Sniper going to cover himself up and immediately start pressure down.
He's got to be careful. There's players nearby as well. He's got to get out. And this is Kiriachi. This is kind of what we expect from him at this point, just going aggressive and going into boxes where he definitely doesn't have the advantage, but his aim is going to be the advantage there for him. He does hit the floor there, but not able to keep tracking Bad Sniper there. The third party comes in, but he's not phased. Shot comes through, and he does end up hitting it. The crash pad going to be used. That player going to get in the box. They're going aggressive. Bad Sniper, though, is actually going to pick it up, but what a turnaround!
Great job from Bad Sniper executing and finishing that one out under pressure. He needed that to stay in the running and to stay in contention just outside the top 15 right before that, but hopefully going to be able to potentially make a push. But still a tough day for Kiriachi, somebody who is either really hot or really cold, and right now sitting at only 7 points after 5 matches. Well, he's looking ice cold.
In contrast, however, someone who's hot, rather, not ice hot. That doesn't really work there. But Deceptos on fire right now. 37 points. Is in second place, however. His lead did get snatched away from him there. But he does have the tools to do it. He's got a shotgun AR, he's got rotation, and he's got the heals. Question is, this zone, how is he going to play it? Already choosing to base up in a really good spot as well. Does not have a lot of metal, but can extend out to that bridge if he wants to. And this is what happens in these last couple games. If you're near the top, you base up very, very early because you don't want your game being affected by any little thing.
That's the goal, is just to make it into that mid-game, transition yourself, avoid those early games. And if you are just joining us, whether it's on Twitch, Twitter, watch.fortnite.com, YouTube, or in Party Royale, welcome. This is game number 4 of the EU FNCS Solos Finals after 2 weeks of competition and then heats. This is the top 100 players battling it out, and they have 2 matches left to stake their claim as the best player in Europe, walk away with that top prize pool, and also the Axe of Champions. And right now, Gamers Origin Deceptos is in second place, just behind Rifla, who we saw take away match number 3 and have a solid performance in match number 4. But right now, needs to be careful because we've seen what Flois is capable of, and he's right nearby him.
And Deceptos is looking for that elimination and the tags, because he hasn't, it seems like, hasn't gotten any tags yet based on where he is in the zone. And definitely will need them with Storm Surge. We won't see it as much in these later games as you saw Kiriachi getting more aggressive, turning more to that Kiriachi from old that we've seen time and time and again. And other players are going to start to do that as well. They need that pop-off game. They need that game to really set them apart. That's what they're doing. But we've got another replay here from Ledwig's perspective, as he's on the back foot running away from a henchman, as well as another player there is going to look to try to take down Jules. And unfortunately, you can't take down Jules when there's a carrot lurking nearby.
The coordinated spray there between the henchman and carrot will take down Letwick. He was 3rd place going into this, so still plenty of room for others to move up the leaderboard. But hopping on over with Hen, who was 6th coming into this match, trying to keep an eye on who's on the top of the leaderboard. What are they doing to set themselves up? Because again, this is the second to last match, so if you're going to get going, you have to move now. And with top 75 ticking over, that's 1 point for everyone left in the lobby. You get a placement point for outlasting the first 25 players, then you get a placement point for outlasting the next 25 players, so that's top 50, and then after every top 10 until you get to the top 25, and then it's every 5 players until you're into the top 3. So right now, Hen just trying to settle himself up, make sure he has plenty of materials. He's in a good spot to rotate after this, but he is very far south on the zone. So if zone number 2 does pull northward, it can be a little difficult. However, he's looking to just potentially find tags on rotating players, and he's going to find one there.
And he needs this because he came into the game down, I believe my math's correct, 7 points there. That's a lot of points, especially with the low amount of eliminations that we've seen Hen get. Not really one to be up there in the average elimination category, but he's got it. We got number 3 went down, number 7 went down. And in 6th place coming into this game has got an opportunity to really solidify himself. I know a lot of people who saw that performance in the qualifier where he ended up getting 2nd place and were like, oh, that's not the Hen that I know, but an ambush being set up shows that Hen has got the ability to do it, and you can't build a wall there. He's got to be careful. Snipe, unfortunately, forgot about that, and Hen took advantage. The quick reaction time for Hen going to set him apart. Another elimination closing the gap. But the point I was trying to make is that Hen is here. He is turning online. This is where he can make his name become a legend.
And that's what he's looking to do in a really good job. We talk about how the best players in the world, not just in the region, but at the absolute highest level, not only are they capable of winning those early game fights and rotating in the late game, but they're so good at manufacturing eliminations, setting up these ambushes, and finding spots to take advantage of their opponent. Notice how Hen was crouched beside the side of the wall. In Cartoon, we talk about taking advantage of rotations there, using the epic sniper rifle, catching Benji out in the open on top of the Authority, and sometimes that's all it takes. No warning, nothing whatsoever, except the whizzing of a bullet, and then all your loot dropping down to the ground. Waves Cartoon taking out Energy's Benji Fishy, the fan favorite, the World Cup qualifier, arguably one of the most consistent players in EU, but he struggled time and time again when it comes to these grand finals FNCS situations. We saw it back in Season X with MMB, where they kept getting ambushed over and over again, and it's proving true today. But right now, our number 1 player, Rifla, under all the pressure in the world and only those 2 minis to get himself back up, and Scram is not letting him heal up at all, not relenting, trying to pressure down and give everyone else a chance to catch up.
Rifla's got to make a play here. Scram is 200 HP, and Rifla can crash pad it in. The box goes through. He's not going to be able to crash pad out, and number one is out of the game. That's really good for Deceptos, who currently in second place right now.
Not only is it good for Deceptos, it's good for every single player in the lobby. Letwick is down in third. Rifla is down in first. What does that mean? It doesn't matter how low on the leaderboard you are. If you can convert a victory royale, that's 14 points without the eliminations. Traditionally, we've seen at least 4, if not 5. That's a 19-point game. Any player who walks away with a victory here could rocket themselves up the leaderboard, and Tayson's trying to do it, and he does it to Janice himself over in the Steamy Stack side. The duo and trio partners, they played together time and time again, but there is no love lost in solos. It doesn't matter who you're fighting against. At the end of the day, with 2 matches left, when your back is against the wall and that Axe of Champions is on the line, when you've seen the number 1 player go down, you're taking every fight at 100%, and Tayson cleans up the FNCS Invitational winner. No problem there.
A beautiful display of skill there from Tayson. Says, you know what? All is fair in love is war. I'm taking you down. I'm getting it. Just a reminder, there's $800,000 on the line here today. One elimination could separate you from a certain placement threshold on that overall leaderboard, and that could be the difference between some big amounts of money. And so no one wants to go out just sitting there not taking engagement or having to think about, oh, that one elimination would have put me there. Deceptos, however, in second place right now, but first place, third place, seventh place are all out of the game. Anas still in the game from what we know. Vadil still in the game from what we know. And Hen still in the game from what we know. There's still a chance for him to be challenged. But this is great for Deceptos because if he can just make it to a top 5, he's already going to eclipse the points that Rifla had. So any eliminations and any placement past that will be so good for him.
And you can see what Deceptos is doing right now is he's hanging out inside of his box, and then he's editing the cone in the top. What that allows you to do, as opposed to other structures, you can see out the top of that cone. You can kind of scout out the information around you. He's trying to figure out where the priority is, and once the zone does reveal, he's going to move a little bit more inland from that outside. He knows he doesn't want to be right on the edge, but he also doesn't want to move too far center as he wants to set himself up for that 4th and 5th zone positioning. As now we're going to swing on over the farm. And a number of players here, Lecce, Ardit, Mongrel, and Noah Riley, all posted up right on top of this barn and also right on the edge of that next safe zone.
He's got a shockwave launcher that has been doing very well. I think 3 out of the 4 games the player has won with actually using it. That last game we saw, it actually gets defeated there. The question is, will Noah be able to reign supreme with it? With only 27 builds, I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's got to get this elimination down below. Dropping through the rafters, though, will give him an opportunity to get a shot, but it misses. There's a third party coming through. Noah Riley suddenly finds himself in a situation he does not want to be in, and the quick edits out will return him to the high ground, but there's not much to work with here. He's already farmed it all out.
Yeah, and he's going to now start breaking those builds. You saw they were already damaged, just trying to get as much wood without actually converting over, but he is quite literally right on the white line of the zone with so many sharks in the water right around him. You saw Mongrel saying, nope, I'm getting out of there. And if Mongrel's rotating away from the situation, you probably don't want to get stuck in it either. But Noah Riley, if anybody has the loadout to make it work, it's him with the mythic weaponry, particularly in close quarters.
This is my V-Box,
And that mythic shark shotgun hits so hard. It is Lecce who he hits so hard. 12 HP being the difference, and then immediately boxes, edits himself up, and he's going to pop those shields, get the med kit off, and try and defend. But no, only 1 mini he's able to get off. He's going to break away and just going to opt to use the shockwave launcher to create some space. He can back their cover there in the zone.
This is my new This is my noob. You what? You what? This is you what?
If Kane's gonna sit in the cone, he's gotta realize that, and he does. Cone in the middle of all these buildings, a little bit fishy.
It's a little bit fishy. You can also tell as soon as it enters that edit state, it's no longer fully built. If you see a non-fully built cone, you have to be wary of it. But that player trying to catch an advantage of Hen, and Hen says, "Joke's on you. Welcome to the chicken coop. I'm the boss here." Takes him down. No problem closing in on that second place in threshold. But Hen trying to catch up and take over that #1 spot, being the top legend, but now on board one of the favorites. It's Rezon, who has had a relatively decent performance today, just on the outside of the top 15 coming into this game, but it's not been the consistency we've seen out of him in the heat stage, finding it a little bit harder to cement himself in those consistent top 15s and top 10s that he was so well known for during the qualifiers.
And every day you play Fortnite, somebody gets better, somebody improves, and somebody comes out of nowhere, and you've got to be on top of that. And for some of these players, sometimes, you know, it doesn't end up working out that way because of the RNG factor. It's unfortunate to see him go down there as we see a fight happening between Wolfies and Serenity Swaps, as Rezon going to look to get some third parties there, is actually shooting through an open edit there, not shooting through a wall. As he does get some tags onto Swaps, as Swaps is dropping down onto Wolfies, and Wolfies is actually going to fall.
And we've seen this time and time again. We've kind of talked about it. Wolfies is really good when he's the aggressor, but he can kind of be taken advantage of when you go back on him. And that's what we've seen time and time again. And that's kind of what European solos is about. Like, yes, you can be good when you have all the tempo, but pretty much every other one of these players is good at playing high tempo. As Rezon identifying the fact that that fight had been resolved, immediately crash pads over, and he's able to pick that one up. Now he has 3 players worth of loot over on the side of priority on zone. He's going to be somebody to keep an eye on to potentially take advantage of the fact that 3 of the players in the top 7 have already fallen. Tayson, another player we want to keep an eye on. He was top 10 before coming right into this. He's able to pick up Steelix with just 1 HP to spare before that siphon ends up coming through, and that's a 2-point swing as we hit top 50.
And he finds the extra minis as well. This is so good. He gets the flopper off. He's going to have minis to refill the ones that he's trying to take. And he finds a good path to zone as well. This was very, very clutch in getting into this end game, because had he not found that, he would have been very, very, very much in shambles. As Rezon nearby, Milwaukee there as well, as we get Nebby, Arion Carton there on your screen. Mr. X as well advises there. A Savage now in this end game as well, 17 points. So he needs 2 back-to-back perfect games to get to that top.
Yeah, and it's somebody who's very good at executing in the mid and the late game. We've seen time and time again 100 Thieves, Mr. Savage, and we've also haven't seen as much as we did before. The peppers in play. When you eat those peppers, you get a huge move speed boost, and it lasts for a minute. So when you get in these late game circles, it gives you a lot more options and a little bit more versatility when you're in these fights. And right now, Savage doesn't have one activated, but using that crash test dummy, hoping to avoid an explosion right here and potentially be the one to cause a little bit of demolition derby. Gonna drop in the box, finds the first shot, finds the second, can't quite convert right now, 5 HP, and he gets taken down. Mr. Savage Savage, 17 points, going to be on the outside looking in when it comes to contesting for the top spot. Both him and Benji, two of the fan favorites, effectively eliminated from that Axe of Champions competition. But want to know who's not? E11 Tayson up on the high ground right now, just raining shots down in that full built metal base, and then using the ramps around the side to cut off any angles on players who might punish him. And a great hip fire shot onto Smudge, then converting afterward, then right away popping the crash pads and trying to head over towards that player to potentially scoop up whatever he can get as we close in on top 40. That's placement points going over in the next rotation, moving out.
And what a stark contrast where we saw him on the low ground, had high ground all of a sudden, and now fragging out is getting elimination after elimination on 3 now, looking to pick up number for that player. No shields remaining, no builds remaining as well. That's going to be Young Bob going down. Tayson now looking for elimination number 5, not going to be able to get it. He's got a good amount of mats as well. 2 crash pads remaining in the inventory, so he can make it into zone number 7 and 8 as it pulls away from him. He's going to look for any eliminations that he can, but he decides, you know what, I'm going to get ahead of zones, then look back, because that is the best way to find these eliminations, as players are not paying attention to the head of zone.
And you can see top 25 taking over. Hen does go down there as well. There's a player who's contending towards the top. But Tayson, the winner of Heat 2, trying to push forward and cement his spot. He is now tied Rifla, who is the leader coming into this. This is his opportunity to take over the front spot. And notice what he's doing so well is he's tarping out and he's using the full builds and he's staying towards the front part of the zone. And then he doubles back right here looking for picks. This is something when you have execution, you have space, no one else is on your level, you turn eliminations in by doing this because he knows he's safe and he can continue moving on a horizontal level while also harassing his opponents. Top 20 ticks over now. Tayson going to continue contributing there. 43 points for the E11 player.
And he goes into zone to crash right because he wanted to be safe doing it, did not want to risk it. He's got the flopper. That damage he took is effectively null. He's back up to 200 effective HP, but 18 players remaining. He's going to have to make a play, and he's already looking for high ground. He's second high right now, but the drop down going to ensue. Swee's going to fall there to Milan. The shot's going through. Tayson getting challenged, but he's going to get an elimination there. Again, now on 6th elimination. Bayon going to go down. Flopper Michael going to fall as well.
And you can see Mongrel up on the high ground, Snazy on the low ground, everyone else in between. Scram still up in this lobby. Nate, Milan, Cartoon up as well. Frenzy Fishy dipping back into the storm. That's the flopper play. Going for a late high ground take right now, and he's trying to push forward. Frenzy Fishy up on the high ground, but now dropping back in. This is the box-to-box fight. He's able to pick it up. That is a huge elimination. Reason right over the side, but it's all Tayson all the time. 9 eliminations, pushing forward for top 5, and he's saying right now, I can cement this number 1 spot. I can take away the game. I can make you chase me in game number 6 as he closes in for top 3, and he's still hunting. He has that mythic charge shotgun. He says, I'm not just a shockwave player. 11 eliminations. 2 of the players go down, and it's Reason, arguably the strongest solo player, wire to wire, against what is the strongest solo player on the day right now in E11's Tayson. Tayson up on the high ground, Reason on the low ground, and that little bit of Old Man Mountain, he doesn't have to be too large, but it's going to burn Reason's through the last of his resources. He's standing out there spraying, no builds left, and Tayson converts, and he does so in a monstrous way. 12 eliminations, add the 14 points for the victory royale. That's 26 points in match number 5. What?
What an insane performance from Tayson. The lead has been blown out of the water, and now it's or will Tayson take game number 6 as well?
My goodness. Tayson, while we're all sitting here running this marathon, this short baby sprint, he's sitting there letting everyone just take off, get that lead. He's like, oh my gosh, no way, everyone's here. They're all running ahead of me. Saves enough in the tank to get the victory royale and the biggest comeback he needed. Ball, what is going on?
It was clinical, man. It was absolutely clinical. It felt like every shot was connecting, and he was making all these quick decisions. There wasn't a time in there where he paused, where he took a second to breathe. He didn't stop at all. Foot on the gas, and he takes it all the way up to the top What a performance from Tayson.
I feel like there was one person on his keyboard and a separate person on his mouse because he was playing movement and aim perfectly, Tayson. And that's why I'm going to say he's 100% first place right now, holding stuff off with everyone else. Especially completely right though. Who can catch up to him? Because he's a pack leader by so many points. Oh my goodness.
And there was definitely some instances where this opportunity arrived. We always think of EU, the winners, ending up coming out in the last 2 games. But something else also interesting is that Tayson won Heat 2. And if you think back to FNCS duos and FNCS squads, both of the winners of Heat 2 in squads, it was Red Rush, Drobbin, Snappy, and Wakey. In duos, it was Anlex and Nate who ended up taking that X of Champions. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like it might happen again.
It's his destiny. It's Tayson's destiny to win this entire tournament, this entire region, and it's been decreed. The question is, can anyone flip the story, flip the switch? Rifle to Sipto's Hen reason. It's their last game to have a stand, have a say in it. XP's Thomas, I mean, if Tayson can do it, if he can be at this spot, all the way up, and these guys and
they all had the capability.
Oh, no, wait.
This quality factor. These guys have made it here. They have fought through the gauntlet. They have what it takes to cement that win. They just have to make it happen.
No
One
coconut.
game left. We thought it, you know,
А снега надо, да?
there's no way.
Вот и This is what, this is what, this and guys. Why you? The guy, go down. You go to the reverse cut. Lo veía. Got it. Let's go get it. Good. Достану просто твоё. Один из них. Это что такое? Дружбы? А что там? Зизи, бро. Добро, рада, раскрутить. Ты бы не раз не видел. Вау, ну Kenapa biasa tu? Kenapa biasa? God. This is what was matched in this one. Бам! Поставите в картузе! Бурно галсы. God, you what? मेरे पास
The first of 12 eliminations secured the victory royale in a 16-point lead coming into the final match. Clay, can anybody catch him, or is it a wrap?
The only way somebody can catch him is if somebody here in Simi decides that they want to push and get this elimination. There's somebody nearby as well as either Kensel or Janice. You know they land here. They have an opportunity. It's going to be Kensel there to shut him down if they want to and go on a run of themselves. But it would need to be quick and decisive, as we saw last game. Tayson put down Janice. He did not care what they were doing. He did not care they were landing in the same place. He said, you know what? Nah, this game, I'm going to go on my own little spree. I'm going to write my own destiny.
And that's what it's all about. We talked about it. There's no love lost. It's a solo competition. There is one active champion up for grabs, and everyone is currently chasing Tayson for it. You can see Benji picking up an Elim in the feed there. So who besides E11's Tayson is currently in the running? Rifla sitting in second place at 42 points, needs 16 to close it. He is the closest. Then you have Deceptos at 41, Hen at 40, Reason at 40, Vadil at 38, Snazy at 38, and then we'll keep Letwick in the conversation as well at 37, that's 21 points back. So that's 7 eliminations plus the victory royale.
And it sounds like a lot because it is, but these players can do it. These players can make the play. We just saw Tayson do just that. But of course, it's all contingent on if Tayson goes down. If he's able to make it into that top 25, into the top 15, top 10 placement points, then your chances are very, very, very slim of toppling him.
Yeah, the longer he stays in the game, the more that delta closes. And now we're going to swing back on board here. And Os potentially looking to set up a nice little door ambush. We've seen this a number of times before. The reason players will hang out by doors is because a lot of players will either interact with doors right away or have auto interact set. What that means is when they walk up and they open the door, they're unable to take any other action because you're locked out while you're performing that animation. If a player walks in right on the other side of the door, this is a Nos looking to manufacture an elimination, and Bitfox might be the one on the other side.
He is setting the trap, and you gotta wonder how tasty it'll be here for Bitfox. He's falling for it. He's walking right on, and Nos is going to get the shot. The trap has been sprung. Bitfox down to 23 HP, and Nos really needs this elimination if he wants to contest it. Bitfox trying to stay out and run away, but Nos going to pick that one up.
And that's so good. We talked about it last game. We talked about doing everything possible in your power to set it up, to be successful, to manufacture these points when you need to climb that grind and get up and catch somebody like Tayson, where every single point matters. We can see some early shots coming out here. Can he potentially find the tags, convert it into elimination? And looking on the bottom right-hand corner, nobody's really threatening even remotely close to him right now.
Indeed, and this is what you want if you want to get that first play. He says he's just going to get gifted an elimination on the handy.
And that's so huge. Every single point pushing him that much farther up, and it reminds me so much of Booga during the Solo World Cup when he threw a couple of rifle shots there in the final game, was able to pick up an Elim, and he just laughed to himself. Tayson got to be laughing to himself right now. If you're in Party Royale, hit him with that hee-haw emote. Let him hear the donkey laugh, because that's what Tayson has to say after throwing one single at it. Opportunity, and that's what makes the best player in Europe over there.
But everybody's coming here and making it here today. These are some of the best solo players in the European region. Sundown has said it. This is one of them may fall here. They have their moment right here on the screen as Kazakh is turning the fight in his favor. The pistol being used. It's breaking through the build, and Slender, unfortunately.
Just a reminder again, this is the top 0.001% of players. This is of the absolute best, and they're competing against her after a grueling qualifying and heat process. Wolfie is the second place in the Duo World Cup, but having a tough run of it today on the opposite side of AR Bafa, who we've seen a number of times more. Be a good little battle right here, but Wolfie's continuing trying to play the aggressor. We talk about his rough day, only 8 points after 5 games, and doesn't want to be sent out here, wants to have at least some form of a stamp on this game, even if it is just as a spoiler, but with 5 HP, the young lord from the UK will bow out of the competition at just a measly 8 points coming over.
And AR Baffo is someone that has kind of come into that WT role and kind of taken it over for a lot of these players. And right there, someone who was really good at pushing that left stick forward back a couple of months ago. Right now, falling just a little short again. He was coming off an injury, so not in his full form there. But still, what a performance by Wolfies to just make it here today and put those 8 points up. Rezon, however, one of those players that could contend for the top. Again, you would need Tayson to go down before placements points started being divvied out. If he goes down in top 76, that is good for Rifle, good for Rezon. But the likelihood of that happening are very, very slim.
Especially because we saw Tayson early on grab whatever loot and mats he can and then just sprint towards the center zone. That first round of placements will be falling over in with just 4 more players going down, so a little bit quicker of a pace here. As you can tell, everyone trying to push it a little bit, get a couple of eliminations, get a couple placement points, try and move your way past that next player, maybe get a pay upgrade. And if you're hanging out for the first time watching us in Party Royale and you're not necessarily used to competitive Fortnite, first of all, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You might be wondering, hey, how do I get involved with this? How do I play in these matches? How did these players get here? Well, the first step is to go in and play in the arena. That is where you'll be able to earn hype, which is where you're gauged and then placed into different levels of play. You can end up getting into contender, and then you're up into champion, which will allow you access to different tournaments depending on where you're ended up placing. All of these players have grinded to the highest level, which is that champion level, which then grants access to certain cash cups as well as the FNCS. Then you can compete in those open tournaments to try and make the final rounds, which guarantee qualifications into the heats. And then after these heats, which were played on Friday and Saturday, you get the grand final. So again, when we talk about that 0.001%, these players have done it all in there, very much so at the top of the game. 74 left, so 1 point going down to everyone, and that includes Tayson.
It also includes Rifla as well as Rezon there. Thomas HD picking it up. Janice nearby as well. Thomas has got to be very careful here. If he is being a little bit too greedy, farming up a little bit too much too soon, he could start to go down, and Janice is going to look to take him down. I think he just not building there for him as he does a lot of damage. Once he sees him place, he can turn that around. He just got to be careful. Janice being aggressive. RPG out. It's going to hit the tree, but it doesn't do any damage. 27 HP. He's trying to side jump, but the ramp's going to cut him off there as Janice continuing to pressure up. Thomas HD is getting WD'd, and Janice is going to be the one to take him out.
Thomas's attempt at a run will go down there. He was 12th trying to enter in here. We had talked about it. We'd hyped him up. We'd shown just how good and accurate he could be, but ran into Janice there, the FNCS Invitational Champion, in a tough 1v1 again, it would have been an outside chance looking in, but now there is no chance as his FNCS is over. He's just hoping he can hold on to whatever spot in the top 20 as he's going to drop down from where he is right now after only picking up a singular point there. But now back on board with Flowis, who has that hunting rifle out. He's looking to catch a cheeky headshot here right around the corner.
Oh, he's setting it up. He's getting so close. He's waiting for the opportunity to get it, taking his time, and he does hit it, but it's a body shot, not a headshot. Unfortunately, that will give him the pressure, though, that he needs to do. He's got the crash pad, set it up into the box. He goes with that player new, and the diagonal box out, gonna come through, and Flowis not able to capitalize on that elimination. He was so sneaky when it mattered the most, but unfortunately, only the body shot coming through from him, but he gets tagged up by a third party, and now the player he headshot, or the body shot rather, is gonna push him. It's going to be Kylix going aggressive, and Kylix needs elimination as well. Move into the upper echelon of prizing, and Flowis is just looking to try to make a run here. Flowis 23 HP, ticking down. Cashback comes through, and Kylix is gonna come out on top.
Tries to enter the bounce house, but unfortunately a little too much for that one. Got a little rowdy. They're going to kick you out. And it was Kylix who was the bouncer, pulling him out, ending his FNCS run. No attempt for heroics here from Flowis, but peeking back on over. Again, Tayson, match number 5 winner.
What are you doing, small pussy?
In that game overall, currently had a 16-point game there.
What are you doing, small boy?
Lead between first and second all weekend so far.
You're very stupid.
Just an act of holding on, and even then, if he goes down here, it's going to
Where are you from, small boy?
heroic effort from somebody in the top 10 to not only convert on a victory royale, but pick up a number of eliminations.
Hey, where are you from?
Close to matching that 12 victory royale we just saw, and currently sitting on 60 points. It looks like this might be a victory lap for him.
It looks that way.
What are you doing, small boy?
In a very awkward spot. He's got a player held out of zone. He's also got
What are you
two players on the
doing?
mountain behind him. As Janice picking up another
Shit on.
onto Sapphic.
Shit on.
Tayson, though, is the story
Shit
of
on.
the day. Can he hold the lead? The largest
Да я не
lead
тебе,
we've
дебил.
seen
Я этому
in
конченому.
between first and
Shit
second.
on.
He's looking to make it even larger
What
here
are you
with
doing,
elimination, but
small?
someone else being
Как обезьяна будет.
a nuisance and shooting some shots over towards
Your
Kylix.
name?
Tayson not peeking, is waiting for the right time to make his move into
How old are you?
that striking
Bro.
distance and close it. Have to wait and see if he's going to be able to stay alive or get that elimination. There's Stacey now
Suck my
in the
dick.
box, looking for the same amount of eliminations as miracle run. I believe 21 total points.
Why you
He
running,
do it.
small
We saw
boy?
Tayson do it, but it
Suck
would
my
need
dick,
to be
please.
in an impressive game.
Oh yeah.
Again, don't
Oh
forget,
yeah.
we've talked about it
Oh,
time
yeah.
and time again. It's not just the
Come to
numbers.
father.
Yes, the Axe of
Come to
Champions,
daddy,
that clout is
small
great,
pussy.
but because Tayson is trying so many other points,
Come to
everyone else
daddy.
who's second
Ew.
to 10th right now,
Small
their
boy.
interactions against each other is going to matter in terms of the person
Oh,
walking away with.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh, you noob, oh no. Забрал чела, собственно говоря, тупой бот, собственно говоря. Small pussy, crying. Nice, чё ливнул. Чё ливнул просто.